1-2. All right, we're here this morning for a review. There have been some pretty significant changes in this case since the last time the court reviewed it. So I'm looking forward to further updates on those changes that happened even in between our last report period. But it's just, it looks like we have
7 kids, 1 overwhelmed dad, and now 4 of the youngest are being removed into foster care with his consent. Why? Because even with massive family support, he admits he can't handle it. The twist?
next review was not actually scheduled till March.
This is an unplanned stop, Your Honor.
Very good, thank you. That makes more sense. All right, appearances, please.
Lee Heiss, lawyer, guardian ad litem.
Nastasia Thomas, counsel for the department.
Chelsea Grant with the department.
Mike Brooks, I'm the attorney for the mother.
Pamela Foot, mother.
Michael McFarland, representing father.
Aaron Foot, father.
Very good. All right, so we've got a motion for change in placement. Is that right, Ms. Thomas?
Yes, Your Honor. It came to my attention through the department that there was a family team meeting. And if this court might recall, at the last review hearing, the court had articulated some concerns about, and the department did too, about Mr. Foot's ability to manage all 7 children in his care. And when the department had the family team meeting, Mr. Foot acknowledged that as well. And given that there had been some concerns about the physical condition of the children, it was decided at that time that placement of the 4 youngest children into foster care would most benefit the children, to safeguard them and also give Mr. Foot some respite to work on his case service plan and continue to parent the 3 older children. So with that, there was no disagreement on that point. I believe, based on the information that was provided with me, Ms. Foot solely objects to the proposed placement plan, and perhaps even maybe a little more thinking that all children should be removed. But with that, we would just rely on the contents of the motion, which was joined in part by the LGAL and father's attorney.
All right, your initial position, Mr. McFarland?
We support the motion, Your Honor.
Mr. Brooks?
We don't oppose the motion itself. We oppose the placement suggestion.
All right, we'll get to that in a moment. Ms. Heiss?
Thank you, Your Honor. I did attend the meeting where the proposed placements were all present, and we were able to very carefully articulate that there have been some mistakes that put the kids at risk, because there has to be a risk of harm to the children, that to put them into foster care instead of just a guardianship or a power of attorney or something. And so there have been some things happen in Dad's home, but also it's very important and delicate that Dad agreed to give this some time, to give the children some time in other households where the hygiene can be taken care of. And these other people are very bonded with the children and have known them all over time. And, this has been a team since the beginning. All the kids get off the bus, however many kids, at this one relative's house, and she takes care of them. And then Dad comes to get them. Just this huge network. There's a grandmother who, in this plan that is being proposed in the motion, can be a grandmother. She can do weekends, and different kids can see each other at grandmother. I always want to say Pampa's Barfoot, and it's just a great plan. I'm interested to hear what the mother's proposal is, and we've worked together a long time. I think this is an important break for the kids. I think there is a risk of harm in the household, and the fact that Dad admitted so and let us get these kids straightened out is just such a victory. So I'm interested in what the alternative plan Pam has to say, and I think the move is in the kids' best interest. Thank you.
Does the court have to authorize removal in order to put the plan into place?
These kids were already with these relatives like 5 days a week and coming home, which I've argued since the beginning. Why is that not a placement? But I think we've explored the other forms, and right now all these people take care of the children with no funding. But these new CPS complaints came in, not the end of the world, but infants falling downstairs, and I'm not even sure all of it because we were trying to be cooperative, and I don't know how else to do it because mom doesn't agree. So if mom put them in a guardianship, she might not even have to do services, but I don't know. At that part, I don't know. Power of attorney, dad could do, but I don't know if mom would join him in doing that, so.
Thank you. Your position?
I would rather hear it from my client herself, Your Honor.
Sure. Ms. Foote, come on up to our witness.
You swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Ma'am, would you recite your understanding of the proposed change in the custody of these kids?
The change would be that the youngest two, which is Tori and Jack, go to Candy and Andrea Higgins, and Ashley and Tyler go to Andrew and Abby. But
So that's 4 children, right?
correct.
And you are you're not opposed to the removal, but you are opposed to the plan of where they would go. If I got that right,
Yes, sir.
would you explain to the court why?
Since Tyler and Ashley have not been consistently going to Andrew and Abby's, the bites and spots that were on them have since gone away. I don't know what it is at Andrew and Abby's house. I don't know if it's that they have cats. I don't know what's causing it. But when they're not at Andrew and Abby's, which they weren't through all of Christmas break, and the spots are almost gone, it doesn't seem a safe place for my children to go.
Is there any other reasons?
I believe Candy and Andre have a better sense of dealing with the 4 youngest children, in the fact that they can handle all of the behaviorals and such. As right now, it was stated by Chelsea that the kids are not allowed at Andrew and Abby's after they visit with me because of behaviors my children have. So it doesn't make sense to put them permanently in a situation where they're not going to be able to see me.
What is your proposal?
That all 4 youngest kids go to Candy and Andrea.
Is that a foster care family?
Yes, it is.
Is there anything else you want the court to know?
I'm not sure whether all of the kids should be taken or not.
Well, the proposal, in other words, you're not even sure your husband should have those, what, the 4 oldest or not?
The 3 oldest are not correct.
All right. Do you know the current foster care placement that you're proposing?
Yes, I do.
And the children have spent some significant time there.
Yes, they have.
Tell us how much.
They are the daycare workers that were daycare when I was in the home.
Is there anything else you'd like the court to know?
I believe that sums it up.
I have no other questions.
Cross-examination, Ms. Thomas?
No, Your Honor.
Oh, all right. Mr. McFarland?
No, Your Honor.
Mom just testified her kids come home with bites and spots from one of the proposed placements. And when they stopped going there over Christmas, the marks disappeared. She's asking, why put them somewhere that's causing physical harm? Valid question, but the agency has a different story.
Just briefly, the placement that you prefer for the 4 youngest is a licensed foster home, correct?
Correct.
They're licensed for 3, correct?
I don't know.
So there might have to be some time to get them an exception for the 4th.
Okay.
So that may be one barrier. I didn't know if you were aware of that. And there are other children of their own, Candy and Andrea, in the home, correct?
Correct.
If this had to be a long-term solution, which is very remote, nobody's saying this is long-term, do you think this placement, the daycare providers, Candy and Andrea, could provide permanence for all 4?
Yes.
The other household where the agency is proposing putting 2 over with Andrew and Abby. So you're perceiving that there's some bites coming home on the children from there. And it sounds like they're not, are you saying that they're not supportive of you? Or are you just saying that they say the kids behave badly after visits?
From what I understand, they say the kids behave badly after visits.
So your little guy Tyler's had bites for like years, or the whole length of this case, he's had bites, right?
Correct.
Has he been going?
Started going over to Andrew and Abby's, yes.
Okay. But the little girl, so Michael Madison and Haley would stay with Mr. Foote in the proposed plan, correct?
Correct.
And Ashley and Tyler would go with Andre and Andrew. The children are familiar with Andre and Andrew. Abby, I'm sorry. Abby and Andrew.
Correct.
And they have children in their household.
Yes.
And they have pets or whatever, but those children are healthy and in school and mainstream kids.
Yep.
Somewhere near the ages of these 2 that would go into that household.
Close.
And doesn't Abby work in the school where Tyler and Ashley are?
Yes.
And so she has contact with their teachers and all that kind of stuff, right?
I don't know the school aspect of it. She should.
And you're not saying you want placement of these younger 4, because I think your housing is unstable right now, right?
Correct.
Okay. And then the older 3 you think should be removed from Mr. Foote. Can you just tell me briefly what your thought is on that?
They've missed therapy appointments. I can testify that Haley has come in to visitation not being clean. She has come in with inappropriate things written on her arm.
What was that?
I am fucking delightful.
Do you know who wrote that?
I do not.
Did you ask her?
I did.
What did she say?
She said she didn't know.
And who generally takes care of Haley like after school while Dad's working?
As far as I was under the understanding, Andrew and Abby.
So go ahead. So Haley had that written on her hand. What else? Her arm?
The older 2 I haven't seen, but with the cleanliness of the rest of the kids, questioning whether the older 2 are getting cleaned and if their schoolwork is being completed and all of that.
Have you checked with the school to see if they're up to date on their assignments and attendance? And
there's a lot of missing assignments.
okay. And those 2 oldest kids are not visiting with you, correct?
Correct.
And you're seeing Brene Moore and they're seeing Brene Moore to fix that, right?
Correct. Well, they're supposed to be. Correct.
But they're missing appointments. Do you know whether Brene canceled or the children canceled or whether canceled or?
I do not know the whole story on why it was canceled.
Okay, nothing further. Thank you.
No further questions.
Any other questions for this witness?
I do. You would agree that with 4 children out of the home, it would give your husband more time to focus on those that remain, correct?
Yes.
Nothing further.
Any questions, Ms. Thomas?
No, Your Honor.
Thank you for your testimony. You may return to your seat.
No other witnesses?
Any other presentation of witnesses, counselors?
No.
Not here? Well, I would like to call the worker if the agency is not going to, Your Honor.
Ms. Helms?
Yeah, we can call Miss Grant. That's fine.
You swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Chelsea Grant.
Thank you. Ms. Helms?
Thank you. Miss Grant, can you just give us a little information about the efforts, or I guess the conversation that went into this proposed placement change?
Sure. So over the last couple of months since the last hearing, there have been lots of conversations about things in the home, things not getting finished, Aaron's feeling of feeling overwhelmed. I want to state that, even though Aaron hasn't made strides where we would want him to be, this Aaron is different than the Aaron we've had before. He can advocate for himself and his children. He admits that he does struggle with the younger children in being able to supervise them, manage them, routines, structure, while also caring for the older children and trying to meet his own needs and get the house up to par to where it is. Time continues to be an issue. We've had safety planning and things with the family where the family is helping to the extent that he struggles in the morning. So mom and dad come over and help him in the mornings to get everybody out the door on time. He's at work, so they go to Abby and Andrew's house where she helps them with she helps him with giving the children like baths and things like that. We have worked on chore charts, discipline, those kind of things. Aaron still struggles with the routine and follow through if family is not present, kind of actively helping him and doing it for him. He can articulate it, but the follow through is a struggle, especially when he has resistance from the younger children. In that I don't believe he's had enough time to work even through his own trauma that he has from the home also to be able to effectively help the younger children in that adjustment. Now, when it comes to the older children, they're able to vocalize their wants, their needs, their feelings. And they even admit that dad very easily becomes overwhelmed with the younger kids because there's no routine, there's no structure, there's no discipline there. And he has had a hard time with getting that set up while managing and making sure that all of the children are safe at the same time. Sorry.
Well, thank you for that information. If the court were to grant the change of placement, which would effectively place the children with the Department for Care and Supervision, the department ultimately has the, I guess, final say about where these children are placed, correct?
I mean, correct. And the court can always rule something differently than we recommend, but yes.
Okay. And that would be like a court-ordered direct placement, right?
Correct.
And that funding would come from the county, do you know?
I don't know the answer to that specifically.
Okay. And at this time, the plan, I think, that has been articulated on the record from other individuals is that the plan that you are also aware of.
Correct.
And Ms. Heiss, her questioning with Ms. Foote sort of alluded to the fact that the proposed home for the youngest children, there's licensing parameters. Is that fair to say?
There is.
Okay. And one of the, I guess, restrictions on the home for the two younger children, they're only licensed for 3 children?
That is correct.
And is there also like age restriction or age things for licensing?
Yes. So they're licensed for 3 children, ages 0 to 5. There is the possibility, which both parents are aware of, and I've discussed with others, is that there would have to be exceptions applied for through Lansing that would need to be approved for the age difference and then the additional child.
And as relates to the proposed relative placement, have the necessary background checks and home visit thing, has that been completed?
It has.
And is the home appropriate?
It is.
And are the individuals appropriate?
They are.
And is there any other benefit to having this arrangement, such as more parenting time or, I guess, access to the children?
Sure. So when we were considering the two placements, we looked at best interest factors. So when we're talking about Jack and Tori, best interest right now is they have spent a majority of their time with the Higgins. They're very bonded to the Higgins. It is their safe place. There is a lot of concerns with like night terrors and those kind of things when they're shifting back and forth between houses. Even Aaron admits that that is kind of like something that goes on. They struggle with sleep and the change. He also struggles with just parenting them, getting them down on a routine and time and their behavior. So he has worked very closely with them and trusts them very thoroughly. And it sounds like obviously Pam testified she does too, that they do put the best interest of Jack and Tori up front. So there is no concerns for them there. When we were considering Jack and Ashley, Ashley and Tyler, we know that, there's nothing that says that the Higgins would not be able to take care of them. But we also looked at additional factors in that the children do attend Madison schools, that the children they all go home at the end of the day with Abby and Andrew to their home. There's a routine there, there's structure there and getting their homework done and getting things done over there. They do help with like bathing them and those kind of things. That would also give them time where when we talk about siblings and keeping siblings together, that is where Mikey, Maddie, and Haley go after school. That would give them time with the siblings that they have been with nonstop their entire lives. That's all the bonding they would have. They would see Dad pretty much every day then when Dad would come and pick up the other kids. I think the hardest thing would be the transition and explaining to them why they don't get to go home with Dad too. I think would be the only big struggle there. But I think there's a lot of benefit to the structure routine, knowing where they're going to be, because sometimes there is a lot of back and forth of sometimes they're going to go to Grandma and Grandpa, sometimes they're going to go to Randy and Cole's, sometimes, I'm not sure they've been really much with Candy and Andre recently. I know that Mikey spent a lot of time recently with Candy and things like that, but I think a little more stability for them to know kind of where they're going to be would be helpful for them, especially because I know Pam also mentioned, their behavior, and it's a struggle in the sense that this is true. A couple of months ago, there were concerns related to the children's behavior after visiting Mom. And then working with the family, there was a break that had to happen where the kids were not going to Abby's every Wednesday after visits because of the amount of children in the home. So you had all 5 of Aaron's children coming and then all of Abby's children, and then the kids are upset because you have the younger children who are wanting to see Mom and then the older children who don't want to see Mom, and then that clashing and the arguments between the children where the youngers were feeling like they couldn't voice how they felt. So there was kind of a break and things like that. Over the last few weeks, they have been after school returning to Abby and Andrews. There's always that chance where if there's a little bit of struggle there, they can always go with Barb and John after school until Aaron gets off work. And sometimes it's good to have that separation between the 2 olders and the 3 youngers, in the sense that the 2 younger girls feel sometimes hesitant to voice that they want to see Mom and like those kind of things, when you have the 2 older children reminding them of all the negative things Mom has done. So I think that even having that stability to have that break, and then Abby and Andrew being able to manage, less children and being able to talk to them and talk with them through their feelings, and then making sure they're getting to their therapy appointments and working with the behaviors that have been suggested, would be a good break in structure for them.
Here's the caseworker's logic. Split the 4 youngest into 2 homes, 2 kids each. Why? The daycare providers are bonded with the youngest 2. The other placement has structure, helps with homework, and keeps siblings connected after school. Plus, The home was checked for fleas. Turns out that was an issue months ago. Mom's concern? Partially valid.
I have no further questions for Ms. Grant. Thank you.
The proposed placement, it's been checked out for fleas, ticks, parasites, anything that might agitate skin, correct?
That is correct.
And the findings?
There was none. And there was concerns for fleas a couple of months ago in the home. They have sprayed, provided me with that information that they did spray with receipts and things like that.
And you've been in the home?
Yep.
And you see nothing objectionable, is that correct?
That is correct.
Nothing further?
The report, I added all the kids up, I counted 8. Did I count wrong?
There's 7.
There are only 7.
Yeah.
Thank you. That's all.
If the judge were to put the 4 littles with the daycare provider, licensed person, would that be contrary to their best interest?
I don't think it would be contrary. I think both placements are appropriate, meet the needs, and make sure the children are seeing family and seeing parents and keeping that relationship.
So those little kids are going to be seeing each other at visits with mom, whether they live together or separate, those two.
Yes.
And so it wouldn't be a crisis, and it's something you've debated, but you think there are more benefits to separating the younger 4 into 2 and 2, correct?
I do.
And are both placements willing to take the 2 that you predicted?
Yes.
And is the daycare provider willing to take all 4?
Yes.
Nothing further.
Thank you for your testimony. May I return your seat? Did you want us to hear from anyone else, Ms. Thomas?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Brooks?
No.
No witnesses, Your Honor.
No witnesses either.
All right, any comments in closing?
Your Honor, we just asked that the court grant the change of placement for the 4 younger children, placing them with the department. I believe the department has done its due diligence in reviewing the potential placement options, and a majority of the individuals in the case have agreed on the proposed plan. But ultimately, if the children are placed with the department has the responsibility to find the most, the least restricted environment to ensure their safety, and also the most family-like environment. So with that, we would just request that the change of placement happen and permit the department to move the children as proposed. Thank you.
Mr. McFarland?
We support the petition still.
Well, Your Honor, there's 7 kids ranging in age. The details involved in the interplay of these 7 kids is probably capable of filling a book the size of War and Peace. I will prefer to my client, the mother of these 7 children, to tell me what she thinks is in their best interest.
And I have heard that today. I appreciate that.
Correct.
The strengths in this family, I feel like I'm in Wonderland. We have so much family support. You know, we could probably get them a couple extra kids if they have capacity. But what amazing family, and for the father and mother to both allow these children to have the best, even if it isn't with them, is just an amazing strength. So that's all I had. Thank you.
Thank you. I have reviewed the motion and listened carefully to the testimony. All parties were given the opportunity, all interested parties were given notice and the opportunity to be heard on the motion and support the same. I do think that I agree that the removal, the post-adjudication removal is necessary as it relates to the substantial risk of harm or the surroundings that present the imminent risk of harm, and then removal being necessary. That is supported. I'm going to take judicial notice of the uncontested facts in the motion itself, just to further explain in detail what has effectively been testified to today as just being sort of, as I see it, an outgrowth of, despite all of the family support, just a lot of children, and the need to have more hands on deck and to meet their needs and to provide the structure that they need in order to be able to potentially function all back together in the future. I do see that if that change is not made now, that would continue to present an imminent risk of harm in the future. But again, I'll take notice of those facts that were further articulated within the confines of the motion, specifically on page 2, without reading those into the record, because everybody knows what they are and we all agree to them. So the facts and circumstances are met for the first component. Again, those same facts and circumstances warrant issuing the order. And I do find many of the reasonable efforts to prevent or eliminate the need for removal were articulated very well by our DHHS foster care caseworker. And I have heard those frustrations and needs coming to the surface in prior review hearings, or singular prior review hearing, but they have been consistent since the outset of the case. So the family intervention, the support, the strengths are remarkable here. So this is a necessary and appropriate next step. It is the only remedy available to protect the children at this time. So the record does, the court order will reflect the designation of the facts and circumstances in support of the motion and the articulation of the contrary for the same reasons. And I am signing the order. I will allow the department the discretion to utilize the 2 different placements. I will not direct placement with the all 4 of the children in the same location at the same time. I really appreciated the analysis that was provided in support of that by our foster care caseworker, and I do agree that I think that the plan as set forth does meet the children's needs. It allows all 4 of the littles to have an opportunity to operate in a structure without having to have 4 of them, which, as we all know, 4 of them together is a lot. So maybe that would be an opportunity too for Ms. Foote to be able to spend a little more time with them without the influence of the others. I liked all the reasons that you gave us, and I appreciate your insights and your dedication to the case. Thank you to all of our family supports as well. I'm signing the order.
Judge's ruling. Dad gets to keep the 3 oldest. The 4 youngest go into 2 separate foster homes, as the agency proposed. The judge praised a massive family support, but said splitting them gives each child the structure they need without overwhelming anyone. Dad agreed to this. Rare case of cooperation. Should kids be split up like this? Comment below.
And our next review will continue to be March 5th at 3:00 p.m.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All other prior orders remain in full force and effect. I'm sure you want to talk with us before you go.